Trump's executive order, Melania book, travel within Hawaii, 5 things to know Tuesday. First, Trump to sign order to encourage police to limit deadly force. Under political pressure over protests against police brutality, President Donald Trump plans to sign an executive order Tuesday that encourages law enforcement agencies to adopt high standards for the use of deadly force. The order comes as Trump, down in pre-election polls to Democratic challenger Joe Biden, faces criticism over his strong support for police and criticism of some protesters as hundreds of thousands of people responded angrily to a series of police killings, particularly last month's death of George Floyd in Minneapolis. Trump and his staff developed the executive order amid protests in cities nationwide, including days of demonstrations near the White House itself. The order is expected to avoid many contentious issues, including the question of whether police officers should continue to enjoy legal protections from civil lawsuits. Second, Melania bio presents First Lady as most influential voice in White House. A Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter for The Washington Post has written an unauthorized biography of First Lady Melania Trump, The Art of Her Deal, The Untold Story of Melania Trump, which comes out on Tuesday. The book that attempts to plumb the mysteries of America's most enigmatic First Lady depicts Trump as guarded, deliberate, disciplined and focused. She is a careful planner and a long-game player who projects icy control in public. The book also asserts the First Lady is more influential in the White House than most people realize, that she may be the president's single most important advisor, the one voice he listens to and whose instincts he respects. Third, Hawaii to lift quarantine for travel between islands. States continue to cautiously reopen their economies while attempting to control the number of new coronavirus infections, hospitalizations, and fatalities. Hawaii Gov. David IGE is no longer requiring people traveling between the islands to quarantine as of Tuesday. A separate 14-day quarantine requirement for visitors arriving from out of state remains in place through July 31st. We are working very hard toward reopening out-of-state travel, but we're not there yet. We are being very cautious, IGE said in a statement. Fourth, Texas set to resume executions after pandemic delay. Ruben Gutierrez, condemned for fatally stabbing an elderly woman in 1998, was scheduled to die by injection Tuesday in Texas, as the nation's busiest state for the death penalty prepared to resume executions following a 4-month delay due to the coronavirus pandemic. Prosecutors said Gutierrez, 43, was attempting to steal more than $600,000 that Scholastica Harrison had hidden in her home when he killed her. Gutierrez's attorneys have asked the U.S. Supreme Court to stop his execution after an appeals court last week overturned a stay. If Gutierrez's execution is carried out, he would be the first inmate in Texas to receive a lethal injection since February 6 and the second inmate to be put to death since the country began to reopen after the pandemic shut down much of the U.S. The state of Missouri executed Walter Barton May 19 for fatally stabbing an 81-year-old woman in 1991. Fifth, nation's largest youth volleyball event to proceed despite concerns. It's the type of gargantuan sporting event that seems almost impossible to safely stage this year, but the Amateur Athletic Union, amid questions from experts, coaches and parents, is going ahead with the largest volleyball event in the world on Tuesday. The Junior Volleyball Championships featured 2,800 teams last summer and drew roughly 110,000 visitors to Orlando, Florida. This year, there will be no fans allowed, no international teams and no handshakes. Temperature checks are required before competition and volleyballs and courts will be sanitized regularly. The AAU said the safety of the participants is our highest priority, but also made clear there is a financial motivation at stake, noting the importance of the event to the local economy, which the AAU estimated at around $90 million to $100 million last year.